Bring on the sights, bring on the savings, and bring on Europe with the Aer Lingus Bring On Europe sale. Bring on warm Irish hospitality. Bring on legendary sights, cosy pubs, food, history and culture. Bring on incredible deals to over 20 European cities, including spirited Dublin, romantic Paris, lively London, and wondrous Rome. There's a whole continent that's yours to be explored. Smart says bring on Europe for less. Smart flies Aer Lingus. Book now at airlingus.com.
If life is killing you, well, it's killing me too, but boy, we've got the cure, and the cure is metal! Yeah! It was horrible. Anyway, this is the Metal Hammer of Doom. I was trying to work like a typo negative reference in there, and, you know, I don't write this stuff out ahead of time. I like to go off the cuff, and sometimes it's successful, and I feel like Johnny Rocker. And other times I stumble all over myself and remind myself, well, this is why I don't do it professionally. Hello, and welcome to the Metal Hammer of Doom. I am your rambling host, the mandated reporter, and frankly I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. And joining me tonight is another man, not only is life killing him, but so is the cold. He's here to bring you bloody kisses. That's right. Typo negative reference. He's the man that asked the question, why be a honky when you could be funky? Yep, we're still not over that one just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jesse Starcher. How do you do, sir?
I'm sad.
Why are you sad?
I'm gonna listen to this album and I'm sad.
You know, I was trying to have some snuggle time on the couch with the wife. The wife is always anxious and depressed. That's just a constant state of being. Except when she's mildly annoyed, like when I put her business out on podcast, like right now. Anyway,
at least she's not anxious and depressed now.
Yep, now she's just mildly irritated. But we were trying to have snuggle time on the couch, and I said, you know what? I gotta finish listening to this album. So I put on like the last 2 or 3 tracks.
Oh,
she went from anxious and depressed to mildly irritated to just downright annoyed.
Ugh.
She spent the entire... I swear to God, I've never seen her complain so much about anything in my entire life than she complained about this album. And she heard 5 minutes of it. Not even.
Those last 3 tracks are not... I mean, for the person who's not in the best of situations right then, because it's like, especially your last track, ladies and gentlemen, the last track.
It's just people crying.
It's called It goes from dreams. Oh crap! I have my where's my notes at? Not the NFL notes, Jesse. That was yesterday. Dreams of the End. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's the actual last music track, and then you have Closure, which is apparently people at a funeral. And it's just nothing but sobbing. Yeah, you're not going to get somebody smiling and ready to...
Every time Melissa's in a bad mood, I'm putting on A Pale Horse Named Death, because I think it'll help.
Oh yeah, you need some. We need to work through this. Come on, let's listen to this. All right,
Melissa, you were starting to say something. What were you going to say?
No, I just shot you a look.
Melissa, what were your
it's
thoughts?
that look that's
What were
usually
your-
followed up with dying of fire or something like that.
She definitely wishes we had separate bedrooms for a multitude of reasons. But Melissa, what did you think of A Pale Horse Named Death?
They were emo for the metalheads. It was terrible. I wanted to slit my wrist.
This is coming from a person who likes normal emo.
Yeah. Well.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Ouch. Gothic metal at its finest. We talked about this on the Metal Hammer of Doom Extra. The guy shooting the video killed himself. Okay? That happened.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time with band openings and forcing my wife against her will to be on a podcast she wants nothing to do with. A Pale Horse Named Death. By the way, I took great pleasure in making sure I told the devout Christian gal that I work with that this was the name of the band.
Oh boy.
Because I was listening to it at work before I left, quietly, just to myself. I was doing my ETO logs. You know what an ETO is, Jesse?
Estimated time of something.
Estimated time of octopus.
Happens all the time in jails. That's what I've heard. I've read reports.
This octopus comes. You never expect the octopus inquisition.
No, you do not.
No, it's an emergency treatment. Basically, it's a shot.
Okay.
if you're smearing shit, if you're tearing apart your mattress, if you're trying to stick something where it doesn't belong, either inside of you or outside of you, then obviously you're a danger to yourself, possibly a danger to everyone else. We will get a shot, usually an antipsychotic, and then something else,
Sedative,
some sort of sedative, and we will shoot you in the buttocks or in the arm with it.
You will go night-nights.
Yep. Well, for NCCHC policy, it means we have to keep track of these. We can't just be shooting up the whole jail. But can I get a sandwich? You can get an ETO. You can't do that. I have a question. I have a shot. You can't do that.
Nope. So you're doing your ETOs. You tell this lady, hey, this is a pale horse named Death. What does your Christian sensibilities tell you about that? And she replies with a blank stare.
She got up shortly and left the room.
She's like, oh, okay.
She was like, yeah, I haven't missed you at all.
There really isn't anything too offensive in this album.
It's a Bible reference, but that's about it.
Yeah. This is pretty tame.
Yeah. All right, so A Pale Horse Named Death is an American Gothic metal band based out of Brooklyn. It was Brooklyn, New York, by the way, not Brooklyn, China.
Okay.
Brooklyn, Wales.
It
was
right next to Wakanda.
Wakanda forever. It was created by Sal Ubrascato, a former drummer for Typo Negative, and produced and engineered by Matt Brown of Seventh Void and Uranium 235. And I believe this is their third album.
Yeah, it's been 6 years since the last one, from what I read.
Yep. The first album was and Hell Will Follow Me in 2011, Lay My Soul to Waste in 2013, and then this album, When the World Becomes Undone, came out January 18th, 2019. The first single, Love the Ones You Hate, was released on November 16th, 2018. So we did a Metal Hammer of Doom based on a former video that they did. I could not find a video for this album at the time that we were recording it. So
yeah, I think they released something for Vultures, but I don't think it was.
Yeah,
it wasn't as exciting as what we got in DMSLT or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, the Beyonder trying to escape into yet another music video.
Yes, sir.
So it's 13 tracks on here, but 3 of them are just noise. So we're gonna skip those
Atmosphere.
Yep.
And sobbing. Lots of fucking sobbing.
All right, I wanted to do this album because I'm a huge fan of Typo Negative, as you may have picked up, or maybe not, considering how I was acting. But
where did he do his best work again? Pete Steele did his best work where?
On the Crapper.
See, I get the reference out of the way, so it doesn't surprise me later.
I wrote this song. Why is it every time I do a Pete Steele reference, I do it like he's Mr. Freeze?
You got me.
Like,
I don't know if you just can't get low enough.
Pete Steele just had a deep voice. He wasn't fucking Dracula.
Yeah.
Blah, I wrote this song along the crapper. Blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Anyway, yes, Pete Steele jokingly said that I think it was like he wrote Christian Woman or Black Number One, one of those two, while he was taking a shit.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy. Anyway, I'm a huge Typo Negative fan, as you may have figured out. So when I saw that the former drummer of Typo Negative had his own gothic metal band, I was hoping, without having heard any of it before, that maybe this will be a lot like Typo Negative. Turns out it's a lot like Alice in Chains. Which if you've heard my previous comments about Alice in Chains, they'll prepare for 2 hours of these guys just raping this album. I wouldn't call it a raping. Maybe a nice fingering over the clothes. Over the clothes.
Listen, when we did the Alice in Chains album, I remember being rather supportive of what came out. Okay, you, sir, were not.
I threw that shit over the pinball machine.
The fucking lawyers decided to show up and disagreed with you as well. So I guess I don't know if I'm on the lawyer side or what. But either way, we'll talk. Just like you said, we'll have a discussion tonight.
All right. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get myself set up here. And we're going to start with the title track of this album. This is called When the World Becomes Undone. All right, so that's a very moody, long, typo negative-ish song. That's kind of what I was looking for here. A bit long in the tooth in the beginning. Takes a little while to get going, but not a bad start here. I think when I heard this, I thought it was going to be more of this and not what we'll start to hear a little bit later on.
Yeah, it's funny how I'm coming to this band having no idea what's come before it, and just understanding that it has its genesis kind of from the typo negative. The typo negative genre of goth metal, or what would you call that? Typo negative is would you say it's goth metal?
I would say it's awesome.
Okay. I mean, is there a genre here? Help me out.
It's the best thing you'll ever hear in your life. That's all.
Okay. So anyway, I'm coming to this, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to expect? What do I expect? And this first song is... after getting past the atmosphere track at the beginning, which was, I was like, oh no, this is going to, just that right there put me in a bad spot where I was like, I'm not going to enjoy this album. To
answer your question, according to the wiki, yes, typo negative would be referred to as gothic metal or doom metal or gothic doom.
Okay. So you can tell I have not listened to a whole lot of typo negative in my life, other than what Mark Radulich has shared with me.
Well, you need to turn this podcast off and go listen to all of it right now.
I'll listen to the review, the big retrospective that you apparently fell asleep on. But no,
it wasn't because I didn't like it. That's for certain.
But this is what I expected. This is kind of what I thought I was going to get. So it's not that I hated it. I certainly didn't hate this first track. I actually thought it was decent, but it was unsurprising, I guess is the other word I would use. We had some longing piano in there, some doomy riffs, some melancholic lyrics. I mean, that's all goth metal all over. So, for a first track, I was like, okay, well, all right, I'm in it for the long haul here. Not too off track from what I expected, and it's definitely not as bad as I thought it was going to be after that first atmospheric track. So, all right.
All right, let's move on to our next track here. This is Love the Ones You Hate. Two words on that track: Marilyn Manson.
Okay. I came away with it.
Like old school Marilyn Manson, like first 2 or 3 albums Marilyn Manson. That
not my wheelhouse.
Okay. Did you not listen to Marilyn Manson like back in the day?
That is correct. He, sir, was the devil.
Okay then.
No, I wasn't. I was not a fan of his at all. Even like I remember him coming around in the late '90s, and I was just like, come on, man. And the guy that was in the dorm room beside us was a Antichrist superstar, man. I'm like, I'm just no thanks. Give me some ICP. Controversial. Okay.
If you go back and listen to some of like the early like non-screamy Manson, especially as he started to play around with like David Bowie and stuff like that, that was the feeling I got there. I also like having listened to a lot of goth in my life, a lot of gothic metal. Not all of it is dreary. You know, I think it's you still get like kind of a rock and roll feel to some of it. So like the music in that one, the instrumentation in that song was like spot on in terms of what I know to be goth. And then you had the vocals, which were higher pitched than what I'm used to, because normally with gothic vocals it's all very deep.
Yep.
It's all very baritone. That's what I'm saying. Like that's why like the vocals on that one reminded me of when Manson isn't screaming.
Okay. It's funny because I put down here I had a different vibe coming out of this, and that is a vibe from a Woods of Ypres song that it just reminded me of a specific song off the album that me and Coop did, where we were talking about. I think it was Woods 3 or maybe Woods. Anyway, I can't remember which one it was. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, but it is the one Woods song or Woods album that we covered off of here. And anyway, I got that. I got that vibe from it. As for the song itself, it's okay. It's not a big standout tune from what we hear on the rest of the album.
See, I like it a lot. I was enjoying that one.
Okay. Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be, since you're not the big Alice in Chains fan, probably the stuff that sticks out to me as my favorite are going to be the ones that you're like, okay, that doesn't taste good at all.
Don't get me wrong. Like earlier I said, like, we'll talk, and I remember thinking to myself as I was driving home listening to it, I'm like, you know what's funny? You get that Alice in Chains style, but you slapped a pale horse named Death on it, and suddenly I'm like, this is great.
Oh no! Wow.
I was really enjoying this. Like, I enjoyed this album a lot more than I thought I would. It's not what I expected, but it does take a really strange Alice in Chains type turn. But I like it. I was enjoying listening to it. Now throw an Alice in Chains song that sounds exactly like it, and I'm going to tell you to go fuck yourself.
There must have been something that left, a scar on your memory when you were first hearing Alice in Chains. You were just fuck everything and anything that has anything to do with this.
Yeah, it didn't all sound like Them Bones, and I'm still not over it.
All right.
Look, if I would, could you, Jesse Starcher? If I would, could you?
I have my Alice in Chains playlist downloaded right onto my phone, sir. Just in case I can't get connection, I've got something to go to.
Here they come to snuff the rooster. That's a
good one. Hey,
everything
by the way,
needs to sound like this. Sorry.
Expect an Alice in Chains song in the Punisher season 2. Actually, if you watch the trailer, I think it's set to Rooster. I can't remember specifically, but anyway, yeah. So eat it, Mark.
Okay. Speaking of down in a hole,
will do.
All right, this next song, speaking of Alice in Chains, is not down in a hole, but rather fell in my hole. Woohoo! Hubba hubba. So, I want to share with you from blabbermouth.com. No, sorry, .net. Containing slides of typo negative Sisters of Mercy and even Marilyn Manson, the early number Shallow Grave is sinister yet affecting. This must be from a different album.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from Lay My Soul to Waste. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, reviews that have nothing to do with this album.
Well, I would say it's probably not much different from this. You know what it was? I was curious to see if I was dead on with that, and see if anybody else made the Marilyn Manson connection. So I went looking for reviews that brought up Marilyn Manson as well, and this is what I came up with.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
But
what do you think of this song?
Like I said, I don't know how much I'm gonna go back to this album as the year progresses, but I'm enjoying listening to it. You know, I find myself reflecting on when I was younger. Like I love Typo Negative when when they first came out, and I was a huge fan of probably their most popular album, Bloody Kisses. But as I've talked about many times on this podcast, if it didn't sound like Pantera and like just full of hate and anger and went a million miles an hour, I would get very frustrated with it. Like, I don't think I would have enjoyed this album back then because I would have wanted it to get heavier and faster. But as I'm turning 43 and I've had to go to a Dave Matthews concert in my lifetime, I'm finding that I don't need everything to sound like Pantera, and things can be somewhat moody. It still has to have balls. Like I don't like sissy music, but I'm not finding that that's what this is. Like I just feel I feel like they're sort of embracing the moodiness of goth.
Sure.
And I'm enjoying that sound.
Yeah, there's enough heaviness throughout this album to make it not feel like, pussy material or something. This is a strong album when you take a look at how heavy it is. And that song that we just listened to is my favorite off of here.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
good.
like that one. And it's got it's got some great riffs going on. I mean, it feels good. It's not fast paced in any way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, it plods along, but it's heavy and it leaves an imprint for me. So I like it. I thought Fell in My Hole was probably the top off of here, definitely in the top 3.
Yeah, excuse me, everyone. I personally love the ones you hate a little bit more than this one, but this is still keeping in that tradition. It's still keeping in that genre of what I'm enjoying about this album. It's I wasn't quite sure what to make of this when I put it on the schedule. I kind of did it just, I didn't realize what this was when I saw it on the release schedule. And then when I realized it was one of the members of Typo Negative, I'm like, all right, well, there's nothing else I'd rather cover, so let's go.
Yeah.
Let's run with this. But I'm enjoying it. I want to go back now and listen to the earlier album. So I think that's where this is successful. It's intriguing enough for me to say, okay, this is good. What else you got?
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
All right, let's move on to our next track here. We're gonna skip this instrumental noise, whatever the hell it is, succumbing to the event horizon, and we're gonna go right to Vultures. That whole beginning of the song, all I can think of is, I could stop if I wanted to.
Is that a reference?
Yes.
To what, sir?
Guess.
Typo negative?
No.
Oh, okay. Is this a movie or is it music?
It came from, well, it's probably a clip from a movie, but it was used in a song. I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
Okay. I have no idea.
It's a band we've covered. But the song is called Just One Fix.
Oh, Just One Fix, KMFDM? Hold on.
Strike 2?
Strike 3. Strike 2, strike 3, help. Damn it.
At this point, you're just flailing in the water, and I want to throw you an anvil.
An anvil. Here, asshole.
Yes.
Let us know.
Ministry, yes, Uncle Al.
Ministry, okay, Uncle Al, okay. All right.
I could stop if I wanted to. You know, you hear it now? Do I need to play this? Do I need to play the song?
No,
for you
don't, because you don't want to break this. You don't want to break the internet.
No, after
last time.
Okay, so what I've discovered is that if I hold my phone to the microphone, you can hear shit just fine.
Oh,
that's what we did yesterday.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know if you listened to our Runaways review, but I held the phone to my microphone, and you could hear the Tootie tantrum just ducky.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, that's completely up to you. If you want to give that a shot, I feel like we've talked about that song too. That's what's bad. I know we've had to have talked that song before. Mark's looking for it right now. He is gathering all of his internet savvy, hopping onto Spotify.
You know what's funny? I'm in my house with Wi-Fi, and I can't get internet.
That's not good.
On Spotify, no. Let's try that again.
Are you offline?
Sometimes the app gets a little wonky is the issue here.
Yes. I've been there, trust me. So, while you're looking for that, okay, please make sure to cue me when you find it and decide to play it.
Shit!
What did you do?
I'm playing it on my phone. Hang on, let me stop this 1 second.
Probably shut down Spotify off of your computer at the same time, didn't you?
Well, it switched it on the computer to Just One Fix. It switched it on the computer to Just One Fix, but didn't play it. It's still just playing on my phone.
Okay, all right.
I'm giving up this experiment because no.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I know we've talked about that song from Ministry.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But, so let me just say that this is the first song right here that gives me the Stone Temple Pilot vibes. You know, when I was listening to this at work, I was like, okay, I feel Scott Weiland and I feel Stone Temple Pilots coming out here. And the problem was I was not very confident in that. As a matter of fact, I listened to it more and more, and I was like, no, it definitely feels like Stone Temple Pilots. So this is the first one where I kind of get that. I dig it. I've seen people, though, in the reviews, I've seen some people listed as their least favorite, and then I've seen other people say that they like this one as one of their top songs off the album. So I don't know what that says for A Pale Horse Named Death, but either way, you all know that I'm kind of a fan of grunge and a fan of that era of music. I dug this one. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Like I said, that whole unfortunately, and that whole experiment was a failure. I was definitely. At least for the beginning of it, I was picking up some Ministry vibes. Okay, let's skip on ahead here. Let's move on to our next track. This is called End of Days. I think that was the first time all album where I started to get that Alice in Chains vibe.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like up to this point, like the review that I quoted for the wrong album, you know, where it was like, oh, this is kind of a Sisters of Mercy mashup with Marilyn Manson, and there's Stranger Typo Negative in there. I get that for the first half of the album. Once we start getting into the second half, like everything after Vultures, is where I'm just like, wow, this sounds like an album I would have hated.
Well,
but I was enjoying it. I really was.
This was the second song where I was like, oh my gosh, okay, if Vultures didn't remind me of Stone Temple Pilots, End of Days sealed the deal for me, and I was like, oh,
I'm not
wow.
getting Stone Temple Pilots from this, though. I'm getting definitely self-titled Jar of Flies, Alice in Chains.
I want you to go back. Okay, I can see that. I can see where you're going with that, but I want you to go back, if you ever have a chance, and listen to, I think it's Core. And I just listened to that album on a lark there a few days back. I was like, I haven't listened to this in a long time.
I think that might be the problem, because I don't think I listened to any Stone Temple Pilots pretty much after the one with the clouds on it.
Okay, now this is the one prior to the little cherub riding the whatever with the clouds on it. Mm-hmm. I think that's what you're thinking of. So yeah, I think it was Core, and you know, that's the one that has a couple of the real famous songs off of there.
Core is from 1992, and then Purple is the next one.
Yep.
And definitely those two albums are the ones I'm familiar with. And I don't think I listened to much of anything after that. I'm looking at Tiny Music songs from the Vatican Gift Shop, and I don't recognize any of these.
I own
Big
that
Bang
one.
Baby. Yeah, that one I know. Tripping on a Hole in a Paper Heart.
Boy, things change too. If you compare that album to Core, just in two albums, their sound, or at least the way they were structuring their songs and their vocals, just, I mean, it differed big time.
Now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking of like how Dead and Bloated goes. Oh, I'm dead and bloated. Bam,
it sounds like he's talking to a fucking phone.
Yeah,
Yep.
Like not necessarily the vocals. See, I'm very excited now. Not necessarily the vocals, but definitely the instrumentation for Dead and Bloated, Sex Type Thing, Wicked Garden. I see what you're saying.
Yes, and you know, I think that
mark this down. I agree with you for once on this show.
That's good to hear. That's really good to hear. I think that as far as the comparison between these guys go, between STP and A Pale Horse Named Death, this right here is the penultimate of that. I think the rest of these songs kind of maybe you can draw comparisons, but I think this End of Days really does. Now I'm going to read something to you, because I haven't listened to this band, and I'm like, man, am I making the right comparison here? And I've got two reviews. I'll read one from Heavy Music HQ. It says,
are they both for this album?
Yes, they A Pale Horse Named Death, When the World Becomes Undone. That is the name of said album. It says sometimes the group takes a grungy route that a grungy route that recalls bands like Stone Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains. Man, when I read that, I was like, holy shit, thank goodness, because I was worried that I was like the only one that heard that. And then it says the down-tempo movements also revisit his former band, Life of Agony. There's also Bring the Noise UK. This kind of supports your Alice in Chains theory, because it says one thing that is apparent during this song, and they're specifically talking about End of Days, and throughout the entire release, is that Abrascato certainly hasn't lost his ear for melody and sings in a way that could almost be mistaken for the late, great Lane Staley from the Seattle-based grunge metal titans Alice in Chains. So, you know, there's clearly some influence there. And End of Days is probably, like I said, the best part of, or the best song off this album where you can say, okay, yeah, they are showing that influence hard and heavy. But either way, End of Days for me is up there off of this album. This is in the top 3 for me off this of songs off this album. So I really liked it.
All right. Yeah, it's not bad. Let's move on to the next song here. We're going to skip The Woods, because that's yet another instrumental.
Somebody gets abducted. It's horrible. They start crying.
This is We All Break Down. I feel like this is the song that made my wife want to kill herself earlier. This is what I might have put on earlier when we were snuggling on the couch, just trying to take some time as husband and wife, and she like got irritated and was like, "Why are we listening to this? This is shit. This is the most depressing thing. Why are we listening to this? Like, I'm in a bad enough mood."
If you listen to it, though, it's actually pretty positive. The lyrics, anyway.
Yeah, the lyrics are positive, but it's definitely got a gloomy, veneer to it.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Is this the one? I can't remember if this is the one or if it was a different one where I think it's this one where he's talking about, like, every time somebody's on the news and they've died for religious views. And some, so obviously that's a bit of a downer. I put my notes were sad societal commentary, but if you listen to it, I mean, it's all about how sometimes we fall, we can't get back up. But the point of that is like everybody does. That's why it's called "We All Break Down."
Reminded me of the Jim Jeffries bit on guns. He's just like, you're more likely to use if you have a gun in the house, Jesse Starcher, you're more likely to use the gun on yourself. And you're like, "Oh, that's not me. I'm not depressed like that." It's like, you don't know that. From time to time, we all get a little sad.
I'm sad.
I'm sad.
I'm sad. I didn't hate "We All Break Down" though. I actually didn't mind it. That's kind of weird coming from me because
I feel like
right. It's really melancholy.
I feel like I said to Melissa like we should dim the lights and light candles while listening to this, and I think she said, "I'm going to bed, faggot."
Do what you want.
That may have been what I heard. I'm not sure if she said it, but in my mind.
Nice.
In my mind. But I like it, I like a nice gloomy song every once in a while. As long as it's not like, I think that my problem with a lot of doom metal is that it's too slow and it's too sludgy. Like, this at least had some melody to it.
Would you say that this is pretty close to Typo Negative, if you compared the rest of the songs to Typo Negative?
Yeah, I feel like if Pete Steele were singing, it would sound... I could definitely mistake this for a Typo Negative song. Or Typo Negative album.
Yeah, I was going to say... If
that's all that's missing is the baritone vocals.
Agreed.
Which is what I wanted, I wish Typo... Somebody resurrect Pete Steele.
I'm sure they're working on it. There's plenty of goths out there that have got the books and the sacraments and all that shit ready to go.
Take his body, strap it to a toilet, and electrocute it.
he awakes, and he's like, "I've got a great idea for a song."
How long have I been dead?
Oh, boy, that's some interesting headcanon right there. Somebody needs to write a story.
30 seconds after being brought back to life, Pete Steele is like, "Life is terrible." Like, you've only been alive for 30 seconds. My girlfriend already broke up with me.
Oh, man, he would have so much shit to write about. So much shit.
All right. This next one is about fucking a witch. This is called...
That's Ice-T, sir. You're incorrect. Body count, motherfucker.
This is Lay with the Wicked. no excuses have I known.
Alice in Chains, baby.
That was way Alice in Chainsy.
I could see where you're coming from there. I do. This was probably my least favorite track on here. I wasn't. I don't know why, but I think if you take this one and compare it to the rest, it's just the rest of them are a little bit more. I don't know, a little bit more heavy. This one definitely feels like it's way laid back.
Yeah,
and
I feel like this is like more mainstream.
I was just about to say poppy. About to say it. I mean, that's about the best I could say. It doesn't make it a horrible track, but I mean, it's just when you compare it to the rest of what's on the album, there's this one. You can maybe try and make a case as to why it could have been left off.
Speaking of poppy, are you taking your daughter to see the BTS movie?
Oh goodness, a BTS movie?
Yeah. Have you not heard?
I don't understand how you. I have no idea how you are telling me this before my daughter has.
Okay.
Or my son. My 8-year-old son is into BTS because of my 13-year-old daughter. So, please educate me, sir, so I can go upstairs and ask my daughter if she knew about this. To which she'll probably say, "Well, of course, Dad."
I feel like you need to stop the podcast and go ask her now. Like, tell her to come downstairs.
You want me to do this? Let me see if she's up. Hold on, I will see.
Okay.
Okay, give me a second. You go ahead and vamp it a little bit, and then we'll see what I can do here.
Well, I'll tell you how I found out about this, because I went to the theater to go see Stan and Ollie, which is about the old comic duo from the early 20th century, and the whole theater was like way crowded, and I thought it was maybe because it was the early showing of like the Lego movie, like a pre-screening. I'm like, no, people are here for the BTS movie. I'm like, what the fuck is BTS?
Oh no. Well, what are you hanging me on for?
Well, I'm trying to look it up in my BTS World Tour, Love Yourself in Seoul.
Oh boy. Bear with me.
There are no showings today. Let's see. Are there any showings tomorrow?
It's already out?
Yeah.
There's no way I wouldn't know about this. I don't understand. That's got to be something that's like limited release.
Movie info. Okay. Shot at the Olympic Stadium in Seoul during the BTS World Tour Love Yourself. An exclusive screening of the most sought-after concert of 2018 hits movie theaters nationwide for a one-day-only event. Oh, that was the reason why.
Oh, boy. Well, no wonder.
Controversial. On January
that is. A lot of teeny boppers ain't going to have... They're not going to be too happy.
On January 26th. Well, that would explain what happened there.
Okay.
While I'm trying to go see my gay cowboys eating pudding indie flick, people like,
what is that? Now all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell?
You've never heard that phrase? I say it all the time. I say it to Winfrey all the time.
Gay cowboys eating pudding?
Yeah, it's a South Park reference.
Come down here, Kira. We have to discuss something on the podcast. Mark Radulich wants you to explain to me why you did not tell me about this. Okay? All right. Close your eyes first off. I'm going to make this a surprise. So, you said it was January 26th?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, Kira, can you explain to me about this? Come here and take a look at this. You never said a word to me about this, and I'm very surprised.
What?
The BTS World Tour, Love Yourself, the movie that came out on the 26th.
I told you about it.
Oh, come on. You didn't tell me a thing. You said nothing to me. What did you say to me? I said, Dad, what? Oh, is that what you said to me? Uh-huh. And what did I say? Did I continue to walk like I didn't hear you because I didn't hear you? Oh, that's what I thought. 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
I don't understand why.
Well, because Mark told me about it, and I said, how is he telling me about a BTS movie when my daughter is the news source for all BTS in this house? Well, can you tell me a little bit about the movie? What's it about? Is it just about a tour? Do they go into their stuff about their videos or anything like that? Like all that? all that artsy fartsy stuff they do in their videos? They do, probably. No. Why?
She is quite.
Her family doesn't love her enough to take her to go see the movie.
Okay, so 2 observations about your daughter. 1, she's way Jewish, and 2, she's quite the sassy pants.
Well, she is sassy. I don't know about Jewish. Are you Jewish? She says yes. She's Jewish. Well, that's a new one for me.
She might be my new favorite Starcher child.
She is the sole Jew. The sole Jew in the Starcher family.
Spelled both ways.
The Jewel.
S-O-U-L and S-O-L-E.
Hey, yeah, yes, sir. The sole Jew. Well, I don't know what it is. Thanks for coming down and humoring us, Kira. Love you bunches. See you later. Well, no, I had no idea that this was an actual thing. So they must have been. So
the story here is that she told you, and you just didn't listen to her.
I'm sure. I sincerely, most likely did. She probably told me about it, and I said, "Oh, that's great," and then moved on about my life, and then that got filed away into the nether regions of my brain.
Meanwhile, I'm contemplating taking my daughter to the sing-along version of Bohemian Rhapsody because she likes to sing.
Ah, now see, that's good stuff. That's fun.
Yeah, I got talked out of doing that.
How? Who talked you out of doing that?
My wife and Robert Winfrey both said she may not be Bohemian Rhapsody may not be appropriate for her.
Oh, okay. So is it like the whole movie?
Yeah,
but you got the sing along part. Like they probably have a little bouncy ball down there on the
yes.
bottom.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the whole movie, but when the songs come up, they actually show you the whole song.
That is straight up fucking Greatest Showman stuff right there. Because
it is
the DVD special features on that release. I'm sure they probably do this with plenty of other musicals, but yeah, you got the whole soundtracks or all the soundtracks right there, so you can do the bouncy ball sing along stuff.
I've been to I've been to many a theatrical sing along in my lifetime.
Bull.
I have.
Wow.
I like a good sing along.
I didn't even know that existed.
Oh yeah, there are not only sometimes they'll, like I said, like Bohemian Rhapsody, they'll replay the same movie, but like a sing-along version, or they'll re-release the movies into theaters as sing-alongs.
I had no idea.
Absolutely.
No clue. I know my daughter went and saw The Greatest Showman like 3 times in order to sing along with it with all her friends. But, well, I've learned a lot. My daughter's a Jew.
Well, she and Elijah can have Passover dinner together.
Wait a second. You set a spot for him. He doesn't show up. He's like the one guest you didn't expect. I mean, that's probably got to be in some comedy skit where Elijah actually does show up one day. They weren't expecting him.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right, let's wrap this shit up.
Okay.
We got 2 songs left here. This next one is called Splinters. Have you ever heard the Marilyn Manson cover of Sweet Dreams?
Yes.
That's what I think of when I hear that song.
Okay.
Sweet. Do you remember it enough to make a comparison?
Oh yeah, it's way slowed down, and it's sweet dreams. Yeah.
Are made of these. Ow. It fits. Sorry.
I'm gonna ask.
That's a reference to an Addams Family parody porno.
Are you kidding me?
I am not.
Oh my gosh, dude!
That might have actually been a Ron Jeremy line.
I swear, dude.
He's like, "Ow, it fits." It's the funniest thing I'd ever heard at the time.
Well, I know who Ron Jeremy is, and he has said some funny things on quite a few occasions. So,
I remember watching that and telling everybody that I knew about it, and like, it fits became a running gag for years after that.
oh, nice. Well, I'll tell you that he.
Do you want to know what it was called, by the way, in case you want to go watch it?
Yes, please tell me,
It's the Madams Family.
Madam. Good one. He had one of the most interesting interviews I ever heard. I'm sure he's probably got plenty of stories, but one of the most interesting interviews that I heard, he was talking about how when he would perform, okay, he would always use alternate words for his appendage rather than the stock words that are mostly used in every porno. But he would like call it his schmeckle. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was just he would use all sorts of different descriptions for his dick instead of just using dick. And and the thing is that the porn industry frowned upon that. Like, they did not want him to use those words. And Ron Jeremy's like, oh, well, I don't care. I'm going to call my dick my schmeckle. And it was just all sorts of, interesting. I'm sure that dude has stories upon stories. My goodness, how old is he now? He's got to be in his mid-50s.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a fucking zillion.
60s. Well, I'm looking. So, Ron Jeremy. Ron Jeremy, 65. Wow.
He played Uncle Pester in the Madams Family, by the way.
Are you on the IMDb?
Yup.
The IMPB? Whatever it is there?
No, it's actually on IMDb.
Are you kidding?
The Madams Family face a financial crisis, so Horticia, get it? Concocts a plan to turn their family mansion into a whorehouse, like you do.
What does Lurch say? Lurch has to say something other than "you rang."
Let's see.
Don't remember that, huh?
So it's
Damn it.
Ona Z as Horticia, Mike Horner as Cortez, Charisma as Cousin Tit. Get it? Kim Angeli as Tuesday. Get it?
Not recognizing these names.
Ron Jeremy as Uncle Pester.
Yes, sir.
And John Doe as Crotch.
John Doe. Okay. All right. Unfortunately, I think I know more of the male stars there than I do the females. They must have been a dime a dozen. Boy. Well, that was an interesting road we went down.
The acting is way above average for porn.
We're still going down that road.
Remember when I said I wanted to go to bed? And the gag's clever. As far as sex is concerned, I enjoyed Ultra Buxom Charisma guest starring his cousin Tit. This is a review, by the way.
Glad somebody sat down and
there's quotes!
That's what I was thinking. There has to be quotes from that. I mean, come on. Somebody's got to be saying something about, you rang's got to be at least twisted in there somehow, or...
Let's see. I'm trying to find a good one.
Does Thing show up?
I think that's Crotch.
Oh, that's Crotch. Okay, got it. Does Crotch just float around? And because Thing was... Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen The Addams Family, this is completely lost on you. But Thing was just a separated hand that ran around. So if there's a crotch just running around, that's weird.
Horticia. Yes, well, they all won't be coming to see me, my sweet. I mean, we do have Cousin Tit, and of course, she's been turning heads for quite a while now. She has filled out lately, hasn't she? Yes, and then, of course, there's my 18-year-old niece, Tuesday. She's coming on Wednesday, and we'll put her to work on Thursday. She'd be glad to pitch in.
Oh, good one. That deserves an award. Did it win an award? IMDb?
But my favorite quote's not in here, which, of course, once again is, it fits. It was nominated for 2 awards.
Was it really?
Yes, it was.
Well, okay.
It was nominated for an AVN Award for Best Screenplay and another AVN Award for Best Video Feature.
What year did this come out? So this had to have been
1991.
91?
Yes.
Wow.
Why do I remember a porn quote from 1991, you ask? Because I've been saying it a lot since then.
When did the Addams... yeah, no surprise. When did the Addams Family movies... The Addams Family movies came out just right around that time then. Addams Family...
Probably.
Like Addams Family Values and...
I would say, yeah, like normally... I'm going to talk like I'm a big expert in the subject, but porn parodies usually follow like whatever's in popular culture at the time. So that's
Same year.
Yeah, that's like within 5 minutes. They're not hard to produce. This is why like every Marvel movie has a porn parody.
Oh, that's great.
And now with the internet, we get them even faster, and we get them for even weirder stuff like Jurassic Park.
We went, yeah. Old Blue.
Hey, Jesse, how was your podcast tonight? I don't want to talk about it.
Well, we almost made it to the last song. And then... and then the dam broke.
And then jump aboard the derailed railroad. All right. Let's. I do in fact want to get to bed sometime tonight. So as you can see, I'm having a bit of a congestion issue. So sleepy time, Mark. All right. Here's our last track of the night. This is "Dreams of the End." And this podcast has come to an end. Overall, I'm going to give it an A-.
A minus. Well,
yeah.
I need to get my spreadsheet out.
Ow.
Oh my!
Ow! It goes on a spreadsheet.
It fits.
It fits on a spreadsheet. So anyway, and then I wrote, I'll never forget what's her name. Yeah. Overall, I mean, not my most favorite thing I've ever listened to, but I enjoyed it. You know, like it had an interesting sound to it. You know, it sort of floated back. It's like a weird amalgamation of Marilyn Manson, Sisters of Mercy, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots. You know, it has sort of a gothic groove to it and a grunge groove to it. And, you know, it mixes for a strange salad. It's like, I wouldn't have thought to put that in the salad, but now that it's there, it's not bad. I don't know if I'd order it again, but, you know, I can, you know, but I don't hate it. So, A-.
Yeah, you could say you know, when somebody asks you, have you been to that restaurant? Have you tasted that salad? You say, yeah, I did, as a matter of fact. It wasn't half bad.
It
wasn't half bad. It fit. So, yeah, okay. Well, I can tell you that I am very pleased that I had the chance to listen to this, When the World Becomes Undone. I would have never give this an opportunity without having this platform to discuss it. I listened to the album probably close to 10 times in the last 2 days. And other than the atmosphere tracks, I wasn't compelled to skip to the next track or end the album early or anything like that. All that together makes When the World Becomes Undone a decent album out of the 3 we have reviewed so far for the year. And I'm going to land it smack dab in the middle at number 2, below Soilwork and just above Papa Roach, which actually falls in line with your grading as well. So we're on the same page here when it comes to our grades for the 3 albums that we've got so far. So I enjoyed it, man. I had a good time listening to it. I don't think it was horrible. I'll definitely at some point probably revisit it, but it's not fire. It's not fire material, but it was decent.
All right, with that said, next week is Bring Me the Horizon. The week after that, Beast in Black. Then we welcome you to Avantasia, and we close out February with a band that I'm not particularly fond of, but you know, it is what it is, and you know, it's a big band, and we have to talk about it. So, Dream Theater, for yes,
For your ass.
for yes.
We'll see if that fits.
Oh boy.
From what I understand, some of those tracks are rather long.
It may not fit.
It may not fit.
Oh boy. Sometimes I wish I could hear other people's reactions to this podcast when we get into these these divots.
Yeah.
Divots of insanity.
Somebody has to explain to somebody that, these guys made Ron Jeremy jokes all night, and then they started, like, you know, working them into describing the songs.
What is
that?
That?
Weird,
Somewhat
enjoyable.
How did a 1990s porno connect to gothic metal? I don't know, man, but that guy made it fit, and that's all he kept saying. All right, this Saturday at 10 p.m., tune into ESPN for Sergey Kovalev versus Elator Alvarez. Myself and Pat Mullen will be calling the main event for you. We also did live commentaries for Fedor versus Ryan Bader, all 30 seconds of it, if that. And we did Keith Thurman versus Josecito Lopez, so check those out. This week, coming up on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network, we have The Search for Ray Palmer on source material. Then we have Voltron Season 8, the final season of Netflix's Voltron. As I said before, Bring Me the Horizon. And then finally, assuming Sean remembers, we'll do an on-trial for Pan's Labyrinth.
Very good.
All right, take me home, baby doll.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, go give that Radulich in Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. You can go to just about any platform. Type in Radulich. Should be able to find the show. You can subscribe to it if you like, or just go back into the archive, pick and choose what you want to listen to. It's all there ready for you. Hey, you know, I got a football podcast that's going to be dropping here definitely before the big game hits. And I had probably one of the most fun shows last night, where Evan Bevins came on, and he flipped the script. Okay, usually I come to him and I'm like, "Hey, Evan, I got some trivia for you, ass." And I proceed to hit him with 10 questions, and we'll see how good he does. So last night he's like, "No, I'm changing. I'm flipping the table. It's on you now." So he grills me, puts me in the hot seat for some trivia, and it was all football / comic book related trivia. So both of them had characters that the answers to the questions had characters that had roots in football and also became a superhero of some type. So that might actually get set up as an episode all to itself, because that was a lot of fun. But kind of watch out for that. We're hopefully to have either Pat Mullen on pre-Super Bowl or after Super Bowl. So if you like listening to Pat Mullen talk football, we're going to have him here on the network at some point. And hey, I think that's about it. Mark Radulich, if you're ready to go to bed, and let's let our dreams begin. Let's not let them end as dreams of the end. Hear that last track that we listened to. No, let's let our dreams begin. Let's go to bed. Let's rest our weary eyes and get ready for next Wednesday.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, find that thing that fits and stick it in. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Make it fit.
Make it fit.
And when it fits, you say it fits.
If it fits, it's meant to be. All right. That's going to end up in court. All right. Thanks for joining us here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. We look forward to offending you in the future.
This is firefighter Raphael Porriette for Firehouse Subs, introducing the new spicy Cajun chicken sub, Cajun seasoned grilled chicken breast, zesty cherry peppers, and house-made Cajun mayo. Just $5.55 for a medium. Remember, a portion of every sub you buy helps provide life-saving equipment for first responders. Firehouse Subs, enjoy more subs, save more lives. Limited time only, plus tax, participating locations. Firehouse Subs will donate a minimum of $1 million in 2019 to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation by donating 0.11% of every purchase. This is firefighter Raphael Porriette for Firehouse Subs, introducing the new spicy Cajun chicken sub, Cajun seasoned grilled chicken breast, zesty cherry peppers, and house-made Cajun mayo. Just $5.55 for a medium. Remember, a portion of every sub you buy helps provide life-saving equipment for first responders. Firehouse Subs, enjoy more subs, save more lives. Limited time only, plus tax, participating locations. Firehouse Subs will donate a minimum of $1 million in 2019 to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation by donating 0.11% of every purchase.